Hi everybody, this is Eero here, and in this video I will present you 5 things that have helped me to get my body to the next level during the past year. As some of you have noticed, I've been living in Croatia for a while now, almost like exact 1 year, but I'm now very soon, these are my last days, I'm moving away really soon, and it's kind of like, feels like it's a start for a new chapter in my life, and I now want to kind of wrap this year together by presenting these 5 things that I think have had an incredible impact on my physique. Number 1 is know your level. This is really the point where you kind of come in terms with yourself. You need to kind of accept and realize what is your current shape. Where are you at regarding your physique? For me, this was really kind of realizing that I'm not as strong as I really thought I was. Understanding how much there was kind of basic stuff that I had neglected. And so really kind of seeing a better picture of where I am. Without knowing where you're at, your level, the premises, it's kind of really hard to make correct decisions regarding your future training and really plan what is it that you should be doing. Number 2, set your goals right. So this is really, now that you have kind of, you know where you're at, your level, your shape, you can start to set out real goals. I used to set goals kind of like, I want to get this or this skill, or maybe I want to like a certain number of handstand push-ups, or I want to get a front lever, or I want to get middle splits. I used to set this type of goals and go kind of towards those. I also had in my mind kind of lifting a certain amount of weight. I was like, okay, I want to lift this amount of weight and then it's enough, okay. A lot of this had to do with kind of not really feeling like I'm enough at what I am, like I need to get this skill so that I'm good enough to do what I do. And you have to kind of learn to separate between like a motivation and between chasing certain things, because certainly you can watch this like great skills or abilities that people have and get it as a motivation. You know, you may at some point get on that level, but having those as something that you are chasing no matter what, you want to chase this amount of weight no matter what it does to your body, no matter how imbalanced you get, and sacrificing your health and all this type of stuff to get to a certain end point, to get a skill, is just kind of ridiculous. So instead of kind of having these arbitrary goals here and there, I kind of changed it to such that my goal or my approach is to learn the best possible way, the most safest way and most effective way to train myself, to learn to train in a correct way. In the end, it is the correct, proper training that will take you to any goal that you may have. Number 3, the basics. You're never too good for them. So this was one of those things that, thinking that I was maybe strong in many of these exercises, quite hard exercises, whether it was for lower body like pistol squats, or if I did some hard exercises like muscle ups or some dips on gymnastic rings, advanced exercises, back levers, kind of imagining that I'm too strong to do maybe basic stuff like push-ups or bodyweight squats or stuff like this. So I kind of thought that in order to make progress, I always have to do this hard stuff, this most hardest stuff that imaginable, like max lifts and so on. But I was very wrong, because now that I had changed my complete approach and I started to do the basics with my new approach, I realized how beneficial, how much I had kind of just rushed through many of the exercises that I should have paid much more focus on. So we tend to kind of rush through the basics thinking, and you know, we want to just get to the end point or whatever it is, and really just what happens usually is that the quality of doing these exercises is not very good. They're done in just any way imaginable, like jerking and using a lot of momentum, and just with a very bad form in order to complete these exercises. So this obviously leaves a lot of room for improvement and a kind of big risk for imbalances and future plateaus in training. This actually brings us to the next subject. Number 4 is the training quality. So any exercise that you do is only as good as you kind of make it to be. It's a lot about understanding of what you're doing, being aware of the exercise that you're doing, what you're trying to achieve with it, and really focusing on like realizing these exercises through your own body, kind of not by lifting a certain amount of weight or just getting the repetition done, but really focusing on every single point of every repetition and understanding like what parts are moving, what parts are stabilizing, and so on. In essence, it's just control. You do the repetitions that you do with control. Whether you do an exercise slow or you do it fast or explosive way, you can always either do it with control or with having a certain type of support from your body, or you can do it in a way that the stress doesn't go to your muscles, but instead it kind of goes to your joints and tendons, and it causes a lot of harm. A very huge thing that I started to practice during this past year was the mind-muscle connection, which is just an ability to really focus on a certain area in your body, to certain muscle groups, to use them, actively use them in an exercise. If I do an exercise, I usually have like an idea in my head of what I'm trying to, what muscles I'm trying to train, what muscle groups are working, and I really try to focus on those actively with my head, not just doing the exercise, but I keep in my mind like what am I training in my body. So no matter what exercise you choose to do, understand that the quality of how you do this exercise, how you do your repetitions, makes the biggest difference regarding the results that you will get. Number 5 is train everything. So this is something that I already touched in a recent video where I talk about how to combine these different training styles. Also how you can how to train everything in your body, every single area. During this year I have I'd moved from slow tempo training into more like faster, explosive, athletic training. I went from mobility training into more like stability training. I kind of went from the one end of the spectrum to another end. I did the slow tempo training and the mobility to improve the balance in my body, the structural balance, to train muscles that otherwise wouldn't have get worked. Like this is probably the biggest thing when you're doing more slow repetitions, is that you're not skipping any muscle group, and the slowness sort of almost automatically brings you to the moment, and it makes you improve your form. Because if you decide in your head, I'm gonna do this slower, it also means that you can't do those hard exercises. You're not going to use as much weight as you would, and it lets you focus more on what you're doing. One of the most rewarding parts here was the contrast when I changed my training styles, and when I realized that because I have become obviously a bit clumsy. I noticed that I have lost a bit of my agility, and I certainly wasn't as strong. I lacked raw strength, and I noticed this, and honestly I think this was a really great thing. It was positive thing. So although I sacrificed some of my athletic performance during the winter when I was doing this slow tempo mobility training and such, I now know that I can now take my athletic abilities to a much higher level than I was able to do before. So fast, full body, compound exercise and such, they make you very, very good in a short term. They will improve your performance. But in the long term game, in order to break through the plateaus, you need to also focus on more softer training, take care of the imbalances and such. So these are really the 5 most important things that I realized during this past year that have helped me to now reach a next level and just become a better athlete overall. So the first thing you want to do is get in touch with the reality, understand where you are, your current level of fitness. Then you want to set your goals right, not try to chase and sacrifice everything for a certain skill or a certain amount of weight or to show off or whatever like that. Just try to be in the moment and understand what you should be training right now. And the third one is a part of creating the foundation, which is the basic exercises. Don't neglect them and spend a great deal of time into mastering these exercises. It's gonna help you so much in the future. And this was one of those biggest mistakes that I've ever made, that I thought that I was too good for some of the simple, more easier exercises. Number 4 was the training quality. This is the determining factor of what type of results you will get from any type of training that you are going to do. If you're doing the exercises and you're training in a bad way, you're not going to probably get very good results, and you might even get injured. So instead really pay attention to what you're doing, understand the exercise, use mind-muscle connection, do the exercises with control, and just spend your time in a productive way. So the number 5 was to train everything. That if you want to be a complete athlete, you can't just pick one training style or one training method and expect to have a very well-rounded physique. No, you need to really be thorough, train, not just different style, but train every single area, every muscle, all the functions in your body. All different training styles will have something unique benefits. And if you kind of limit yourself, like if you limit yourself in here that you're not going to do this or that, you're not going to lift weights or you're not going to do mobility, you're kind of also limiting yourself physically. The mental limitations that you have will manifest as physical as well. But that's it, guys. This was the video. I really hope you will find this useful for yourself, and you can take your physique to the next level as well. Like I said, I'm really moving away now from Croatia, and I'm actually going to Malaysia for a couple of months, and after that I'll be heading to Australia. So by the time that you see this video, I should already be in Malaysia unless something weird happens. So I'll see you soon. Take care.